Good to see everyone. Welcome to the Winning Real Estate Show. I am your host. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, guess what? I am live in my new studio in my office. We are almost there. Shout out to Anthony and everybody who wanted to. Where am I going to hear people at?
Oh, my bad.
Look, see? Look, check this out, man. They got me in the studio, man, and then I'm sitting in here. Can you guys hear me? And y'all hear me pretty good? Ian, can you hear me pretty good? All right, outstanding, man. Welcome to the show, man. This is going to be a super dope room. I see Daphne. Bring Daphne up. That's my sister, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winning Real Estate Show. My name is Anthony Glenn. I'm your gracious host today, guys. I am live on YouTube. I am standing in my studio, okay? So for those of you that are in the space, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're just going to be talking about how to win in real estate. And today I got my sister, Sierra Taylor, that's in the building. Welcome, Sierra. What's going on? You want to tell the people who you are and what you do?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sierra Taylor. I am a real estate professional here in Southern California. I work alongside Ian, Anthony, Kyler, Albert, and our great big mega team here in Southern California. I am also an accountant by trade. I look forward to popping in and talking about this.
Outstanding. Now, here's what I want to start with, Sierra. Okay, so Sierra, can you tell us what you're working on right now? Tell us some of the stuff that you've been doing I know you're a top producer. You've been awarded twice the last 2 years in our organization. So can you tell some people a quick nugget of how you've been able to do that, please? I want to know how you're able to continue to produce. And for those of you that are on TikTok right now, I am on the show. I'm on several social media platforms, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the veteran wealth formula that we'll be doing this Saturday. And we want to tell you guys how you can be involved in helping us grow to 21 million veterans nationally. Let's go. All right. So Sierra, can you tell us, if you could go back in time and tell us as a real estate professional and investor, what advice would you give yourself? What advice would you give yourself today? We're going to start with you.
The number one advice I would give is just to not take anything personal. In this line of business, it's kind of a nature of the beast type of thing. But whenever you're passionate about something, it's so easy to get put your emotions into some of these transactions or dealing with specific clients. I think the biggest and number one lesson I have learned, and that I would tell myself from when I started, is don't expect the people closest to you to support you, to want to do business with you, and don't take it personal when they don't. I think that's the biggest lesson. And if you can, get past that and realize the longer you dwell on something that is not going to change, the longer, the more clients you're passing up on. And so just kind of being able to cut your losses and keep it moving is another one too, when it comes to certain deals and transactions that don't go through. And really just kind of prepare for your next client. I mean, most people say you are as good as your last client, which I believe to an extent, but not necessarily. But it's something where you just kind of keep working on yourself as a professional, as well as reaching out to old clients, new clients, and making sure people know what you do, so you're at the top of their mind, especially when it comes to real estate via social media. I'll land there because I know I can.
Oh, yes, you can be long-winded, Jack. No, I'm joking. So check this out, man. Make sure you guys give Slow. She is. All right. And I'm just super excited to have my friends and family here. Guys, we're going to be doing this show on a regular basis, and we're going to be talking about, here's some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. Number one, we're going to be talking about, if you're a real estate professional, some of the things that you guys, some of the things that you guys should be doing to set up your business. Okay. Number two, how can you increase your production? And then number three, how you can become some of the tips and tricks of how to structure a real estate company, because it's very easy to get sales. However, there's certain things and tips that a lot of people don't know that they need to do to actually win in real estate by structuring your business as a business. Shout out to Mark Days, Ashley Wilkerson, Albert's on stage, Daphne. Man, y'all better put some respect on Daphne's name. Make Daphne a moderator. I'm going to go to Dr. Ashley next. Ashley, can you tell the people who you are and what you
Hey
do?
y'all, thank y'all so much. I am tapping into support, but give me a
Doctor?
moment, Anthony. Go ahead with your conversation.
Outstanding. And then I'll go back. I'll go over to my
I'm
brother,
here. I'm
Albert.
here. I'm on
Albert, are
my
you
way to
here?
the
Can you
office for a
speak?
couple of
Let the
meetings,
people
but I
know who
got a
you are and
couple
what
of
you do.
minutes before I go into my first one.
Outstanding,
Yes,
man. And
sir.
when you come in, come to the back, man, so you can come say hi on camera. So this is the stuff that this is the things that we're doing. Albert, can you just let the people know? Let me ask you a question. Is the real estate market going to crash? What is your observation of that? Can you give us a quick, tell us who you are and then give us a quick observation from your expertise about is the real estate market going to crash? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it's going to crash. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe it's not going to crash. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe the real estate market is going to crash. Put a 2 in the chat if you believe the real estate market
Yeah.
is
So,
not going to
good
crash.
morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Albert Ramos.
I
I am a
see.
professional coffee connoisseur. And essentially, to answer Tony's question about if the market is going to crash, based on what I'm seeing right now in the market, the real estate market is actually heating up before I expected it. I expected the real estate market to pick up around beginning of April. But just here in Southern California and even Northern California, because well, I'll go into that a little bit later. But here in Southern California, I've had to put in around six to eight offers on different clients, and the offers are not getting accepted because I am coming in as aggressively as I thought as I could have come in 2023, and then 2024 is definitely not shaping out to be that
Mm-hmm.
year. Interest rates are are expected to come down. They're already pretty stable as they are right now, and people understand that a lot of people, the smart real estate, the smart buyer or the smart sellers understands that specifically the buyers understands, like, well, now is the time to buy because I'm still going to be able to get some concessions come summertime frame. I'm not going to be able to get any type of concessions, but what I can do is I can do a EARL, which is the interest rate reduction refinance loan, and then now 6 months down the road I got a really good deal, and on top of that I got a lower interest rate based on what 2024 is shaping out to be.
Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. Okay, so everybody put the word concessions in the chat. I want you guys to park that in the chat because we're going to give you some negotiation strategies for those of you that are looking and you're thinking the interest rates are high. So basically what you're saying, Albert, is that from your perspective, okay, things are going to start changing, okay, specifically because we're in the election year, number one. And then number two, that it's starting to heat up because we have a lack of
Well, yes.
inventory. Is that pretty much what you're
What I'm
saying
trying
in
to
a
say is
nutshell?
that things are changing more rapidly than what I thought. So I think it's gonna be, yeah. I think it's gonna be
Yep, me
more
too.
hot
Yep,
than
I'm
what
seeing that
people
too.
actually expect. But Tony, you didn't ask me. He's like, Albert, why the hell did you say you were a coffee connoisseur? I was hoping to somebody asked me, like, what do you mean you're a coffee connoisseur? You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's because coffee's for freaking closers, and I just got a property in escrow today. So let's go.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go,
Congratulations.
man. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you're excited for Albert, man. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you're excited for Albert. Man, it has been a blessing to have you join our movement. Guys, if you guys are interested in joining our movement, we are. Okay, let me tell you who I am real quick. My name is Anthony Glenn. I am your gracious host today. I am a vertically integrated real estate organization. We have a bunch of partners. We have nobody who works for us. Everybody works with us. Then I have a special announcement. Otis James just joined our team. So if you guys know Otis James, put a fire emoji in the chat. He just partnered with us, and I am super excited about that. We signed our partnership agreement today, actually, and he's going to be part of this Cardone Veterans Group movement. If you're a real estate agent or you're a real estate professional or you're an investor, put a 1 in the chat because we want to talk to you guys about how you guys could be a part of this movement as well. Okay, so I'm super excited about that. So my brother Albert is on his way to the office. He's kicking ass and taking names. I got my brother Ian Jensen that's meeting with Bruno Nascimento because we got a fulfillment event for veterans this weekend. And then I have a loan officer, okay, that's getting interviewed right now, and another realtor in the office. And man, I got a new studio, man. I'm super excited, man. It's going down, man. So does anybody have any questions or comments before we start to rock out? Anybody have any questions about real estate? How can we help you win in real estate? That's what I want to ask. What is something that you want to ask about real estate that you guys could put in the chat if you guys are on a social media platform, or if you're on our TikTok, guys, raise your hand, come on board, and we'll rock out with you guys and give you guys some examples of what we are doing. You can be a partner with us. Everybody put 21M in the chat right now. Every single person that's on the live right now, put 21M. 21M. Do it right now. 21M. I want to see everybody do it. 21M. 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 Put it in the chat. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Grant and Elena Cardone are helping us reach 21 million service members and military spouses in real estate. Okay. Let me tell you what that means. Okay. So we're basically going to be doing national monthly events for veterans, okay, on how to invest in real estate. You do not have to be a veteran to do this, okay? All you have to do is either be a person that wants to help veterans. You can be an investor who wants to partner with veterans. You also can be a realtor who wants to get increase and help more veterans by invest in real estate. You don't have to be you could be on your way to licensings, and we're going to do this stuff, guys. It's super exciting. I'm super excited to have Otis come on board. I think he's going to be a great partner with us, and we're looking for a few good agents that are looking to and loan officers that are looking to do that with us. Now, are there any questions or comments before we rock out? Any questions on stage? Any questions?
Congrats,
Any
Otis.
comments?
I know he's
Going
not
once.
here, but I'm putting it out in the atmosphere.
Yep. Let's absolutely. So Dr. Ashley was supposed to get her real estate license in 2019,
seriously, Anthony?
and she failed a
I'm
test.
not
By
doing
the
this
way,
with you. I'm not doing this
just want
with
to
you.
put that out there, Dr. Ashley. 2019. Okay. But now, so I want to pass the mic over. Let's talk about real estate, guys. Who wants to talk about real estate? What you guys want to talk about? All right. Do you want to talk about sales first, or do you want to talk about negotiating, or do you want to talk about business? Sales, negotiating, or business? Put it in the chat. Whichever one you guys want to talk about first, that's what we're going to talk about. You want to talk about, okay, we got business. Okay, we got Dare says business. Okay, who else wants to talk about sales? Ian wants to talk about sales. What else? Put it in the chat, guys. Investing, sales, or business. Negotiating. Okay, we're going to talk about all of that stuff today. All right. So let's get to it. Let's start with I'm going to start with investing because I think that's universal. Okay. Now, do you need to know sales in order to be a real estate investor? Yes or no? Put a 1 in the chat if the answer is yes. Put a 2 in the chat if the answer is no. What do you guys think? Do you need to know sales in order to be a real estate investor? Okay. Who says I got a couple of yeses? I got a couple of no's. What do you guys think? Okay. And then above my head, guys, you will see our Sitrep YouTube channel. Please click that link and just put hello in the chat as we're doing this. And the reason why I want you guys to do this is because I want you guys to see my new studio. Okay. And I have no chair, so I have to stand up the whole time. You know what I'm saying? All right. So click that link above my head if you guys want to see me live in the new studio. Tell me what you guys think about it on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think about the lighting and everything else? I want to know what you guys think. So let's get into it. Investing method after using the FHA loan or VA loan. Okay, that's what you want to talk about. Okay, that's the first question that is proposed to the table. Okay, so investing methods after using the FHA loan. Let's start with that, guys. Okay. So that means if you use a government loan, FHA, or a VA loan, that's what you want to talk about, and that's what we're going to start about. I'm going to yield the mic to Sierra and Ian, and let's go to who else is on stage. Sierra and Ian. Okay, so let's talk about that first. Is Sierra still here?
I'm here.
Well, let's go to Ian. I think Okay, I see you. I see you. Okay, so what strategies? Okay, so based off of your expertise, and Ian, flash your mic because I want you to talk as well. Okay, you purchased the property utilizing the FHA loan, VA loan. Okay, now you wanted to know some strategies. Okay, so I know there's a new program. I'm gonna yield the mic to Ian, but Sierra, I'm gonna yield the mic to Ian for the FHA loan, how he would structure that deal, and then I'm gonna go to you, Sierra, on giving us 2 or 3 quick nuggets on how to leverage the VA loan to be an investor. And where I'm going with this, okay, there's no right or wrong answer, but I know, Sierra, you utilized your VA home loan benefit to purchase a property, and then now you have a trust and you have a company. I want you to, I'm gonna pass the mic to you right after Ian. But Ian, let's go with the FHA loan, okay? So how would you leverage the FHA loan if you were an investor? What are some of the tips and tricks that you guys should have in regard to structuring that
All right, so an FHA
process?
loan is for
Ian, over to
somebody
you.
who's going to live in the property, right? You're like, this is my house. I'm going to get my mail here. This is my residence, right? So there's a new rule that allows you to come into a multi-unit purchase with 5% down. So the biggest advantage that gave all the buyers out there is like how much less money up front they're going to need in order to get a piece of real estate, right? So and then after you figure out that, like say if you had 10 grand, that allows you to buy, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. 10 grand allows you to buy, 500,000. All right. So anyway, it's versus the 50,000, or excuse me, versus the 100,000, right? So 10,000 versus 100,000 is a big deal. So what it ultimately comes down to after that, though, is the numbers. And if you qualify for that type of loan, you got to look at the numbers, because this is a different ball game now. You're now having you have the opportunity to purchase more than you can afford, right? So if I can only afford $100 a month, but because there's multiple units in this building that are generating income, that I get credit for the amount of money that they pay, so I can purchase more. But you're still on the hook for that mortgage no matter what. So it's a different dynamic. You better be really comfortable with managing real estate if you're going to be doing something like that, because the mortgage has to get paid no matter what. Back to you, Tony.
Okay, so and let's talk about this, the 5% down rule. Okay, all you got to do is here's the fundamental difference with the FHA loan, though. Okay, so let me read this. Okay, limits increase for 2 to 4 dwelling units. FHA borrowers can now also get a bigger loan amount, high cost area. Maximum FHA loan limit for a 1-unit property in high cost areas is $1.1 million. Now, the difference between the FHA loan and the VA loan is there's no maximum loan limit, okay, and there's zero money down with the FHA loan. But let's talk about these scenarios so we could go to this. I want to go to business structure, okay. So right now, I want you guys to put $500,000 down on your. Let's work through this scenario, and let's talk about some of the benefits of the FHA loan and the VA loan, since he asked that question. And guys, get your pen. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have a pen, because we're gonna rock out. Hey, Alexis, can you put the YouTube channel in the Facebook, and I'll pin it. Okay, so guys, okay, boom. I have the FHA loan. Okay. Now we're going to do some quick math. Okay. And I want you guys to follow along with me. We're going to break it down so you guys understand how this works. Put a 1 in the chat if you got your calculator, because if you don't understand the numbers, it's useless. What we like to do here is we like to teach. Okay. So, Sierra, let me know, flash your mic when you're ready to, help me out, because I'm going to come to you right after this. Okay. All right, so Dare, do you have your okay,
Yeah.
Dare,
Yeah.
Mr. Dare, do you have your phone? Again, Dare. Okay, so let's work through this scenario. Okay, so right now, let me know when you get your, stay off mute, and I'm gonna walk through a couple of things. Okay, you're gonna use your calculator, and you're gonna follow me along with these steps. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if you guys want us to give you guys an example of how we would structure this deal. Okay, Ian, are you available to help me with the structure? Okay, okay. So just so you know the direction that we're going in, we're going to talk about corporate structure, and then we're also going to talk about how the money should flow through. Okay. All right. All right. So number one, which everybody put 500,000 in your calculator.
Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Times 5 and then a percent sign equals.
Yep. 25,000.
What do you got?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is that accurate, Ian? Okay, so that means that if you wanted to buy with the FHA loan, okay, instead of having a 3.5% down, now let's see what it used to be, guys. Let's see what it used to be. You used to have to put 3.5% down on an FHA loan. That has changed. Okay. So right now, let's go back to the 500,000. And I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence, but we're talking about people who have never bought real estate ever. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this. Now let's go 500,000 times 3.5 and then the percent sign equals. Thank you, Tina, for putting that in the chat. So you guys got the math and come up to the. Tina, I appreciate you. If you want to be my chat warrior, you could do that. That would be great. If you could put the stuff in the chat so people can follow along, then you guys could go back and listen to the replays. Okay, so let's go over let's go 500,000 times 2.5 and then the percent. I mean, is it 3.5%? 3.5 for FHA. So 500,000 times 3.5.
Yeah, it's 3.5.
No, 3.5%, right? FHA loan. Okay. So now what's that?
17,005.
Okay. So now single family homes with FHA, if you bought a $500,000 property, you would have to put down $17,500. The 5% rule for the VA loan, for the FHA loan used to have to put 25% down. So now it went from 25% down for 20% down, 20%. So before FHA loans on multi-units, typically you would have to put down 20% since it was a multi-unit. Now it's at this number where it's 500,000 times now let's do it times 20%. So what is 20% of 500,000, Ian? I know you got this in your head. So you would have to have $100,000 to buy that. Would you rather put a 1 in the chat if you would rather put down 25,000? Put a 2 in the chat if you want to put down 100,000. Now let's go back to this. Let's go back to this scenario and let's look at this whole scenario. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you guys want me to give you a scenario of what the principal and interest would be on this $500,000 property. We're not going to do taxes and insurance and HOA and all of that stuff, but let me show you how I would structure the FHA part first, and then we're going to go back to this scenario. All right, now that we got that math part out, let's talk about this other piece, okay? So now, all right, so everybody... Now, put a 1 in the chat if you guys want me to give you an example of principal and interest for a $500,000 property. Okay, let's talk about this. As soon as you get the FHA loan and you buy a multi-unit, we're doing this with an FHA loan. We're going to tell you guys how we structured this. I better get some likes right now, guys, because we're going to break all of this stuff down. So now, how I would structure this multi-unit, okay, I would buy with an FHA loan. As soon as I get that FHA loan, what's the first thing that I should do, Ian? The first thing that I should do. What should I get that property out of?
Out of debt? I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
No.
You're talking about the
what should I put the property in?
So what he's talking about here is protecting yourself.
Yes.
To make sure that you have more anonymity about the ownership of the property. So what he wants to do is, and he's explaining because like a lot of people get this confused with government loans. You, the buyer, have to be like the owner and resident of that property, but it can be like your estate, right? So what he's talking about now is taking that property and putting it in your trust's name. That's different than putting it into an LLC's name. He's putting it into his personal trust. And because with that's a legit way of giving yourself a little bit more legal protection, but it doesn't highlight any red flags for the loan company.
Okay, So now I got that property out of my name. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put that property in a limited liability. I'm going to get a limited liability company. Okay. LLC. Now, first step, trust. Second step, LLC. Third step, I go down to the bank. I open up a business checking and savings account. Okay. And then I want you guys to put 3 C's in the chat. That stands for credit, collateral, and capital. Okay. As soon as I get that property out of my name, it's in a trust. Now the trust owns the property. Okay. I don't own the property. I'm giving you guys this real time. I want you guys to make sure that you guys are putting these steps in place. And the reason why I want to do that is because let's just say I bought a 1 to 4 dwelling unit, which is a multi-unit with the FHA loan. Okay. I'm not just going to do that to cash flow. If I'm getting money and I'm getting the money and I'm putting it into my personal account from those tenants, what could happen? Anybody on stage want to tell me what could happen, y'all? What could happen to me?
You could get sued by the tenants.
Yes. The tenants know I own that property. Okay. If I put the property in a limited liability company name, right? That property owns let's just say that I paid the property off and the LLC owns the property. What is the con of doing that, guys?
Now they're suing the business, right?
Now they're suing the business. That means that the limited liability company owns the limited liability company owns the real estate. So that means the value is tied within the limited liability company. So if they sue the LLC, they can garnish the wages of the limited liability company. So that's the reason why you want to do 2 steps. Number 1, put it in a what?
Trust.
Number 2, open up your what?
LLC.
Your limited liability company, and then run your business money through the limited liability company. So now remember, the LLC also is going to go in the trust. So that means that the trust and the property is owned by the trust. Okay. So that means that number 1, you create the trust. Number 2, transfer the ownership into the trust. Number 3, set up the limited liability company. Number 4, get the money running through the limited liability company. And then you're going to build credit, collateral, and capital. That is how I would structure that business. As soon as the bank sees money coming into the limited liability company, they're going to want to give you a business line of credit. Okay. So now you're building credit, collateral, and capital. Now, what is something that an LLC has that people have?
Credit.
A business credit card.
No. Okay. A little bit of real estate trivia. What is something what do people have to do in order for you to borrow something? You have a what?
A business.
No. Come on, y'all. Come on. Rock out with me, guys. What is something that you have that you get assigned when you get born?
Your social.
A social security number. What is something that a business has that's similar to a social security number?
An EIN.
EIN.
Amazing. Now all of this stuff is starting to draw together, right? If I have a social security number and I can borrow, and I have a EIN number, guess what? That EIN number can act as another person, and you can get a business line of credit and borrow against. So when we're talking about this stuff, when we're talking about this stuff, a lot of people don't know the steps. And the reason why this is critical, guys, is because when you guys are setting up your stuff, you need to know how to do this stuff. Now, I have the property's not owned by me, it's owned by the trust. So that creates a barrier of protection. I have the limited liability company that's operating the rental business. And then now I'm building capital, collateral, and credit. And then now, since I have that limited liability company operating my business, if I have a 4 unit, guess what I could do? Now, this is a little bit more in depth. But if I got 4 doors, what can I have? 4
LLCs. 4 units.
4 units, 4 businesses. Man, let me reset the room, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Win in Real Estate Show. We're talking about real estate mastermind, guys. We're giving you guys some steps. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys are enjoying this conversation. I'm your host. Shout out to everybody that's on stage. I see Mark Days. I see Dr. Smith. Good to see you, Dr. Smith. I see Dr. Ashley, Wendy, B. King, Tina, and everybody that's on our live. Let me tell you, I guess my staff wants me to lose weight because they got me up here standing up. I don't have no chair. So guys, click the link above my head, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of this stuff lives rent free there. So I want you guys to just give me a hello on the YouTube channel. Okay, I really appreciate you guys. And then also I am live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Christian Mingles. Hey, we're everywhere, guys. So if you guys have questions on stage, get on stage, ask your question, or put your question in the chat. We will answer it. Shout out to the people that are on Instagram watching me rock out as well. If you guys have questions, give me a holler, and then I will answer any question for you. Now, let's get back to the question. So FHA loan, Ian. Let's give an example of the math. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see what the principal and interest is. And I'm going to do this real time for you guys so you guys could see what the mathematics looks like. Okay, because there's a couple of things that we want to do with that. Okay, and then we want to go over some math. Now, I know people hate math, but guys, listen. You should not be investing if you don't know the math. Okay, let me see if my boy is still here. Did he leave? I think, is Ellis still here on stage? I think Ellis bounced. Okay, Ian, you ready to do some math with me?
Yeah, got it pulled up. Let's go.
Okay, so let's say we bought that multi-unit at a 6%, let's say 7% interest rate. That's kind of where rates are at right now. So right now, everybody put 7 and then the percent sign in your calculator. Daphne, are you here? Flash your mic because I'm going to come to you next for an introduction. Okay, shout out to Daphne for the support. Okay, so let's do some quick math. Okay, so I want y'all to put 7 and then the percent sign in the chat. Okay, 7 and then the percent sign. What's the number?
Oh, 0.007.
Okay, 0.007. Okay, y'all better be following along. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have a pen because we're gonna rock out. And then we're gonna go to see. We're gonna talk about the VA loan. And guys, please get on stage because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be cooking fast. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss some stuff. Okay, and I want you guys to follow along with me. I'm gonna tell you what the principal and interest is on this property. Okay, now you're gonna take that and then divide by 12 months. So step 1 is put the number 7, hit the percent sign. That's the 2 circles with the vertical slash. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to put that you should get 0.007. Then you're going to take that number and you're going to divide that number by 12 months. Barbara, come on up on stage. Stack Pack, come on up on stage. I want to hear from you guys, okay? All right, I want as many people dialoguing with me as possible because if you have questions or comments that you'd like to ask, I will give them to you. And shout out to Miss Carter that's on stage, Jacqueline, HQ, Daphne, Mark Days. Everybody that's on stage right now, and shout out to everybody that's on the on the gram with me. Okay, so now you're gonna take 0.007 and divide by 12 months because it's 12 months in a year. So do that. Okay.
Got it.
All right. And guys, okay, what you got?
0.00583. Repeating. So 0.0058.
Okay, and for those of you who just joined the live, what we're doing is we're doing some math, okay? So 7%, you got to put 7, put the percent sign. It's going to give you a number. From that number, then you're going to take that number, divide by 12 months. It's going to give you 0.00583. This number right here is the number that the bank does not want you to see, okay? Now, we're going to take that number and then we're going to multiply that number by the purchase price of $500,000. Okay, go ahead and do that. Now, for those of you who are just joining, y'all better hang out, man. Make sure you guys give me a follow on TikTok. Thank you for the 2,000 likes and the 27 people here that are on TikTok. Appreciate you guys. And shout out to the people who are on the YouTube live as well. Okay, so now you're going to take that. Basically, what you're going to do is take that 0.000583 and divide by the purchase price of the property. That's going to give you your principal and interest payment. What do you got, Ian?
2916. So $2,916.
So $2,916 is what you're going to be paying in interest a month for that property. So when we're doing this is not taxes, insurance, HOA. But if you don't understand how to do the math, how much am I paying in interest payments per month? Okay, and then that's going to give you, if you're paying $2,915. There's a way to avoid that by taking that money and putting some extra money on what you borrowed to avoid the interest. Now, the reason why we're telling you this stuff is because when you're negotiating on properties and doing these things, guys, okay, Now, I know it's a lot of math. Y'all are like, damn, he's going so fast. Well, you should have been here earlier, Jack. All right. So the reason why we're doing this stuff is because if you don't understand the math, you're going to mess it up. Okay. Now, Ian, why do I want those tenants paying into, and then I'm gonna open it up for questioning. Dr. Smith, Karen, anybody on stage, I'm gonna open it up for you guys to ask any questions that you may have. And then we'll go back to it. Shout out to Dan Robach that's in the building. Why do I want the tenants paying into the LLC?
So that way it provides income for the LLC, so you can start building business credit with your LLC.
That is correct. Now, also, there's something called a charging order. Everybody put charging order in the chat, please. Charging order. Charging order. Charging order.
Yeah, Tony, before we go to charging order?
Yes, go ahead.
What would you, as an investor, what's more important to the cap rate or the interest rate?
Whew. That's a good question. What is more important, the cap rate or the interest rate? I believe that the cap rate is more important than the interest rate. You know, the capitalization rate is going to be way more important than the interest rate because the cap rate is going to tell you if that deal it's the capitalization rate is going to tell you if that deal is good or not. The interest rate you can avoid by doing strategic things, by paying more money towards your principal balance. You can avoid interest by paying more money towards your principal balance. So your principal balance. Okay, so let me make sure that you guys understand why he's asking that question. And Ian, do me a favor. I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to give the textbook definition of the capitalization rate and the formula, please. Can you do that for me?
I'm on it.
Okay, so all right, so interest rates can change. You could refinance and everything else. So many buyers and sellers are focused on the interest rate. And the interest rate can be avoided and it can be changed if you know what you're doing, right? So the principal. Everybody put principal in the chat. Principal. Put principal in the chat because I want to make sure you guys understand. I want to make sure that you guys understand the fundamental difference of the difference. And I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence, but I'm talking to you guys. Here's one of the biggest things that I hated. People did not explain to me. I did not understand the terminology, right? But once you start understanding the terminology, you'll understand how to negotiate, okay? Principal is the amount that you borrow. Interest is the cost of borrowing money. I just showed y'all that 7%, okay? At a 7%, I showed you the manual way without using tools. Tools are for you to be more efficient. They're not to take place of your understanding of what they do. And this is where a lot of people are making mistakes. They're utilizing formulas and everything else, but they're not understanding the formula. You're not going to be able to become a real estate investor unless you understand the math. There's no way around it. And all you need to know how to do is add, subtract, and divide. That's it. You don't have to do anything crazy or do anything like that. Okay. So, and Ian put the definition in the chat. Net operating income. Okay. Can anybody on stage tell me what net is? A net operating income. What is NOI?
Cash money in your pocket.
Okay.
After taxes.
And not just taxes.
Taxes and expenses.
Okay. And operational cost. Okay. So listen, a net operating income is what you net after you pay all of your expenses for getting that property. So let me ask a question on stage right now. Okay, guys, here's what I want to ask you guys. Okay. What would be considered an operational cost of financing a property? This is simple stuff. But the reason why I'm asking this question is because a lot of people overthink it. What would be an operational cost to investing in a piece of real estate?
Interest rate.
Okay, that's one. What's another one? Anybody can put it in the chat. There's no right or wrong answer to it. I'll tell you if it's wrong. Okay, what would be something that would be that? What is going to be your most expensive? What's going to be your biggest expense for a property? Come on, y'all. Come on. What's the biggest expense to the property? Nope. Your mortgage. The mortgage. Right? So that's an expense. So whatever it costs, if it costs me $2,000 a month, that is a fixed expense reoccurring, right? So when you're investing in real estate, you want to know, okay, and then the next one will be probably your taxes. That's another expense that a lot of people overlook, right? So when we're doing these things and we're talking about these things, right? Okay, no Clubhouse speaker voices are heard on IG. So you guys can't hear me. Y'all can just only hear me talking to myself. Okay, put a one in the chat.
Yes, Tony. When I
Okay,
was on Instagram, I couldn't hear anything. Only
okay,
when you talked.
okay, great. That's something that I need to know. Anthony. Okay, I get my folks. They can't hear me on Instagram. They can't hear the Clubhouse people speaking on Instagram.
That's a app error. We gotta refresh the app.
Okay. All right. So I'll just keep rocking out, guys. If you guys want to hear me real time, click the link, click the YouTube link, and then you guys could get on there. We'll put that link in the chat, and then we'll see if we can get us on there. We're setting up the studio. So I know you guys, but I know on I don't think TikTok either. Maybe because of this. Okay, but so think about it. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs for a property. Okay, and any incidentals, a property manager. Okay. Okay, it says, oh, yes, we can never hear your Clubhouse audio on YouTube. Okay, we'll work on that. We'll get that fixed. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm here talking to myself, asking questions to myself. Come on, dog. Hey, but guess what? And this is another thing that I want to say to you guys. As we're going through this process and we're talking about these things, just get started, man. And then you iron out the kinks. This is a perfect example of getting into real estate. Dump the puzzle pieces out, get started in real estate, and then you guys will get on your way. We can hear it Clubhouse on TikTok. Okay, so I'm gonna post my TikTok link at the top. Tell them to put my TikTok at the top, my personal TikTok, and then you guys can click and hear all of the stuff that I'm talking about through TikTok. That's cool. All right. So thank you guys for letting me know that. I've been sitting here talking to myself. Big Sarge, what's up, man? Okay, so principal is what you borrowed. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA, okay, are fixed costs that you cannot change. You can always do other things like you can eliminate other costs like interest costs by leveraging what I just showed you. You borrow $500,000, you have a little bit of extra money to put it towards the principal balance, and that's going to speed up your equity position. So these are like strategies that you guys could use to win, and a lot of people don't even know that you guys could do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some questions from the chat. Who has questions or comments in the chat that you guys would like to ask? Anybody on stage? B King, what's up? Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, I want to come to you next. Dr. Smith, how are you doing today? Dr. Smith.
I'm well. Not sure you can hear me. I usually don't get on here and talk. But
Well, come on, sister. You got to talk to us, man. We want to talk to you. How you doing today?
I'm well. I'm mostly a learner. I like to get in and invest. I have my own home. 2018, I became eligible for my VA benefits. Anyway, I'm
Congratulations.
looking to refinance. There's a couple of options, a couple of things. You've already answered most of my questions. I think at this point, I'm just wondering where's the listserv when it comes to other veterans assuming my loan.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so number one, you're a vet. Okay, congratulations.
Hmm.
Thank you for your service. Okay,
Appreciate that.
so her question, I'm going to repeat the question for the listeners on YouTube. She said that she's a vet. Okay, she said that she wished she would have joined the Marine Corps, but she decided to go into what branch? She said.
I'm actually a public health officer. Not sure many of y'all.
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So public health officers also have the ability to use the VA home loan benefit in some cases, right?
Mhm.
So for you, okay, you have a home, and there's a couple of things that some strategies that you would like to propose. Okay, so when
Mhm.
did you buy that property? What year?
It was 2018.
Okay, you bought the property in 2018. Where'd you buy it at?
Houston, very, very good area. Inner
Okay,
Loop. Yep.
Okay, Houston, Texas. All right. Shout out to the folks in Houston, Texas. All right. So you bought the property in Houston, Texas, and you're looking to either do a refi, okay, or do
Hmm.
some type of strategy in order to get into other real estate endeavors. Correct?
Correct. And just listening in on your courses, there's a couple of options. You actually answered my question when it comes to the LLC. I was thinking of putting it into my LLC
No, don't do
so I
that.
can, I guess, assume or reestablish my entitlement without having to pay a big down payment. So that was something I was looking into recently. And to keep the property for investment, I'm at a 2.75 interest rate and already got, a lot of equity in this area.
Okay, so a couple of things right now. So she has a property in Texas, guys, and she has a 2.5 interest rate. Now Texas is a little weird, man. They don't allow to do interest rate. They don't. The cash out refinances and stuff like
Hmm.
that are kind of difficult, right? But there are other options that you can do. Okay, I see you, Shanika Carter. Okay, Shanika, you're gonna have to listen to the replays. All right, okay. But come on stage and we'll get you there. Okay. So her question was, she has a property in Texas. What's keeping you from keeping that property and then putting tenants in that property and then leveraging your corporate
Hmm.
structure to buy other assets, right?
Well,
So go ahead. I'm
mhm.
listening.
Oh, I thought it was a question. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple of strategies, and then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a number in the chat, okay, and I want you to text WIN to this number, and then we're going to look at your scenario and give you a free roadmap on what we feel you should do. Because put a 1 in the chat if you guys are in the same scenario. You own your own property, you got a lot of equity in your property, you just don't know what to do with it, right? Now, in her case, there's a lot of scenarios that we could leverage for her, right? But this requires a roadmap. Now, a lot of people, but this is the deal. What is something that you that never runs that never stops? Okay, time, right? So there's a couple of things that I would tell you uh, for your scenario is I would be looking at getting another asset. I would take that property out of your name, put it in the trust, create my limited liability company, and look for another opportunity. And then I will reverse engineer on how I will want to get the money for it. Okay, now I have a question for you, sister. What's on the front
Hmm.
of a puzzle box?
Picture.
The picture. What do you usually have to do with the puzzle? You have to dump it what?
Dump it out, put
You
the
got to
pieces
and put
together.
the pieces together. So you already
Hmm.
know that you got equity. That's a piece. You already know that you've already been through the home buying process. That's a piece. So now we only need to figure out the other pieces. What needs to be my next structure so I can get some passive income? Okay, everybody put passive income in the chat. Here's a fundamental difference between passive and active income. I'm going to yield the mic, and I got a little bit of real estate trivia. What is the fundamental difference between active and passive income? Can anybody tell me on stage? Anyone can answer this question for anybody can either put the answer in the chat or answer
Passive
this question.
income. Passive income means you don't have to do anything. Hands off. You have a property man. If it's rental properties, you have a property manager. If you own a small business, you've hired a manager at your yogurt shop. It means you go about your day hands off. And active income means you're putting in the 9 to 5.
That is correct. Now, the beauty of real estate, okay, is this. Let me show you guys something, okay? I'm going to show you the reason why I like real estate, okay? And I'm going to put this number in the chat. The number is 760-385-8211. Again, today we will set up a free call with you, okay? Today. And we will give you a free roadmap on the next steps, okay? 760-385-8211. Text WIN to 760-385-8211. Ian, can you put that in the chat, please? If you guys want to get on a consultation call with us, okay, and then see what it is that we're doing, and you want to see how we're doing what we're doing and how you should invest or how to set up your corporate structure, we'll give you some game for free. Okay. Now, the reason why we want to give you some game for free is because we know if we give you some game for free and you implement it, you'll come back for more. Okay. And then you'll start liking our YouTube channel and liking our podcast and liking everything else. If you want to learn from us, help us grow. Okay. So if you guys are enjoying the conversation, put a fire emoji in the chat because I'm going to keep kicking it like a sensei. For those of you that are just joining us, welcome to the Winning Real Estate Show. I am your host. Today, this is the Real Estate Mastermind. We'll be doing these rooms every Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Wednesdays, we go 6 a.m. all the way to 9 I don't like that 69 number, man. Hallelujah, Lord Jesus. 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys want to rock out with us or you want to learn from us, help us grow by liking and sharing this to your hallway and giving us a follow. We'll really appreciate you guys pulling up. But let's go back to, I'm going to give you guys a reason. Again, I'm going to put the number in the chat. Doctor, get on the call with me. I'm going to call you right after this live, okay? And we're going to talk about your next step in Texas, okay?
I love it.
Okay, doctor, my number is 760-385-8211. Okay. I was gonna say 281-330-8004 for them people in Texas. Y'all might not know what that number is. Who knows what that number is in who knows what number that is in Texas, y'all?
Mike Jones.
Oh my God! See, she's a true. Now, see, but listen, check this out. The reason why I said that is to have a little bit of humor, guys. But I want to show you guys something of the power of real estate and passive income. Okay, Samantha, thank you for giving that information. Passive income, you get money and you don't have to do anything. That's step one. Step two, real estate, as long as you have it, will increase in value over time. That means the value of real estate is going to be high. Okay. So that means that right now we're in election year. This is going to give you a little bit of to make you a little bit comfortable of buying real estate in this market. The interest rates do not matter if you can make the monthly payments. I will say it again. The interest rates do not matter if you can make the monthly payments. Why? Can anybody tell me on stage why the interest rates don't matter? Put it in the chat, guys, on the social media platforms. Why, or anybody come off their mic and tell me why the rates don't matter.
You can buy down the interest rate.
You can buy down the interest rate. That is correct. What's another way?
Can always refinance.
You can always refinance once you get equity position. What's another shout out to Al? He said Mike Jones on TikTok. What's another way? What's another reason why interest rates don't matter? Because you can avoid interest by strategy. You can avoid paying interest and speed up your paying down your property faster by utilizing strategies that we show you. Okay. I just showed you guys a long form of how to figure out how much interest you're paying on a $500,000 property. What was that number? Okay. Doctor, did you text me already? I'm waiting on the text message. I ain't see it come in yet.
I did. It's from a Fort Lauderdale number,
Okay.
954.
Okay, got you. So guys, listen, check this out. So the whole reason why, you know, remember I told you guys principal is what you borrowed, right? So if you're borrowing that money and you had some extra money and you wrote a check towards principal, what you borrowed, the bank can't charge you interest. A lot of people are overthinking this. If you owe less, you pay less interest. It's not rocket science, right? So if you had a couple of extra $100, $200, and you put it towards the principal balance, that means that the bank can charge you less interest. Okay. All right. 954. I got that number. I got you. All right. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about. We're telling you guys how to win. All right. Now, another thing is depreciation. Everybody put depreciation in the chat. 562. I got you with the WIN. Again, that number is 760-385-8211. Text WIN to 760-385-8211, and you'll get on a strategy session with me or my team, okay? Depreciation. Samantha, I saw you put it in the chat. Can you explain what depreciation is and then let us know who you are and what you do?
Hi, everyone. My name's Samantha. I'm a real estate investor and realtor here in San Diego. I have 7 properties in Florida and 1 in Colorado. So depreciation, just like when you buy a new car and you drive it off the lot, it depreciates, goes down in value because it's now a used car. Well, when you buy a home, it depreciates. When you have tenants in it, it depreciates. When you live in it, it depreciates because your carpet's not brand new anymore. Your things just aren't new. So they depreciate, and that's a tax write-off.
That is correct. That is correct. And the
But the
textbook
value of the land appreciates. Like in California, for instance, the home prices keep going up and up, even though the home itself is depreciated. But there's definitely a lot of appreciation too.
That is correct. And let me give you an example. Depreciation for homes is a good thing. Now, let me give you an example. Okay, so right now I want everybody to put this in the chat. I want you guys to put 500,000 in the chat right now. For those of you who are listening to me, every single person put $500,000 in the chat. Let me show you how this works. Okay, Ian, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so can you tell me what the depreciation schedule is for a $500,000 property, and tell me what the depreciation benefit of owning a single family home and the property is 500,000. Can you give me that math, please, and explain it?
Okay, so the depreciation is basically I call it depreciation expense. So this is something that the bank, not the banks, but the IRS has figured out about like how you can write off the costs of the house deteriorating. Right, over time, the house is gonna need maintenance. It's gonna have wear and tear. So what they do is they decided that over 27 and a half years, the value of that structure and the real estate, not the land, by the way, the land and the structure are always priced on two different line items on your taxes as far as its value. So what they do is say it's a $500,000 property, but you have $100,000 in land. All right, so the new number you're working with is 400. So what they do is they take that 400 and divide by 27.5, and then that's how they give you, that's the tax write-off you get every single year under the line item depreciation. It's viewed as an expense, as if you were like a truck driver who bought $10,000 worth of gas. It's an expense. Back to you, Tony.
Okay, so let me give you an example of what he said, guys, for those of you that are on social media and y'all can't hear Ian. So the depreciation schedule is whatever you purchase that property by 27 and a half years, and that will be your depreciation cycle. So if the property value is at $500,000, you would take that $500,000 and divide by 27 and a half years. Somebody do that for me and put that number in the chat, guys. Somebody do that for me and put that number in the chat. What is 500,000 divided by 27.5? And for those of you who are on Instagram, if you can't hear me, click that link that I just pinned, and then you guys could actually hear me, hear the people on Clubhouse. We just set up a new studio and we're working through the kinks. I just pinned a comment. For those of you that are on Instagram, you'll be able to hear us live and in color. And I'll also do this. I'll put that link in the YouTube Q&A as well, so you guys can hear the people on Clubhouse talking to us. Now, can anybody tell me what that number is, please? What's that number? Can anybody tell me?
18,181.
18,181, guys. That means that once you have a property, okay, and you put tenants in it, it now becomes a business expense. Now listen to what I'm saying, guys. The cool part about this is that the IRS favors a couple of people that have a couple of things. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what they are. Number one is a business. Everybody put business in the chat. Number two, thank you, Dr. Smith. Okay, good to have you with us. Number two is going to be a charity. That's why you see people with the charities and 501c3s, 508s. Okay, so number one is a business. Number two is a charity. Number three is real estate. Let me tell you the reason why the IRS favors these three things. Okay, number one, if you have a business, you're hiring people, so you help the GDP. If you're hiring people, that means that Uncle Sam gets more what? Taxes. Okay, so that you get the best tax benefits for owning a business. Number two is real estate because of the depreciation schedule. Money from your real estate goes to pay the local municipalities. Somebody on stage, tell me what some of the local municipalities are. Okay, what are those local municipalities? Anybody tell me? Schools, parks, libraries, hospitals, fire departments. Those are local municipalities, right? So your property taxes goes to pay that stuff, right? And the court system. So these all of this money goes to pay those local municipalities. So the more real estate that you have, the more taxes go to pay the local area. That's why when you have bad areas, you usually have bad schools because they don't have any funding. So, and then the charities, obviously, if you're doing community outreach, if you're a 508, which is a religious body, or a 501c3, right? And this is off the dome, guys. If you guys are enjoying this conversation, put a fire emoji in the chat. We don't want to talk at you. If you have questions or comments, please come to the stage, guys. This is a real estate mastermind. You can ask us anything, okay? And right now we're cooking, and we want you guys to ask as many questions that you want to ask. So check it out, guys. When you guys have these things, you get less. You pay less taxes, right? Imagine having a piece of real estate and you make $100,000 on your W-2 job, and you can depreciate a piece of real estate that appreciates over time. Appreciation means the value goes up. Depreciation means you get a tax write-off of $18,000 from your $100,000 income because you own real estate. That's why you have rich people buying real estate, guys. Now, who has questions or comments about what I'm talking about right now? Who has questions? Put your comments in the chat, guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, put your questions and comments in the chat. Okay. I see taxes. Thank you guys for rocking out on YouTube. Shout out to the people that are on Clubhouse as well. Click the link above my head. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This information is going to live there infinitely. So if you have questions or comments, please ask your question. Karen, I see you off mic. Did you have a question?
Yes, I did. I just want to confirm, sometime I get mixed up when I hear this, that when you buy a property, and
Mm-hmm.
when you buy a property, then you put it in an LLC, and then you put it in a trust. I
No,
mean, the order. No.
that's the wrong order.
Okay.
You buy the property, you create the limited liability company to operate the rental business. So you're just, okay, so let me just give you the flow. Okay. Number one, you buy a property. Okay. Number two, you take that property and get it out of your name and put it in a trust. All that takes is what's it called, Ellis? I'm drawing a blank. Quit claim deed, right? You quit claim that over to the trust. The attorney's going to set up your trust paperwork. Then after you get that, and you go down and you create a limited liability company to run your rental business, and then basically the tenant moves in. The property manager, instead of paying your personal account, he's going to pay what account, guys? What account? Your
You pay
business.
the bank account that the business owns.
That's correct. Because now instead of remember, your personal accounts are open with your what?
Social.
And your business accounts are open with your what?
EIN.
There you go. Okay. So now that money is going to the EIN number, right? Because you set up that business. That's the steps. Did I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let me do a quick room reset. Welcome to the Winning Real Estate Show. I'm in my new studio right now, rocking on the ones and twos with Anthony Glenn. I'm a buy and hold investor out of sunny Southern California. Put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys are enjoying this conversation, because we're going to go for another 15, 20 minutes. Okay. This is going to be a short room. And guys, we're going to be here tomorrow at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys are liking this, we're going to be on the show doing the exact same thing. And on Thursday, we will be coming back with the Real Estate Mastermind. And guys, if you are interested, we do have a veteran wealth formula for you guys that's taking place on Saturday, where I'll be teaching about the wealth formula on how to structure all of this stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, text WIN to 760-385-8211. Again, 760-385-8211. And then I will get that information to you guys, and you guys can register for that class. Now, anybody have any other questions that's on stage right now? Any questions?
Anthony, I don't have a question, but I'm not too sure. Are you trying to record this room for the replays? Because it's not on.
Oh man, y'all missed it out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Not me. I'm paying attention.
Got to come back next time, okay? But it will be on YouTube, so you guys can get this information. Shout out to the people that are pulling up. We want you guys to win. All we're going to ask you guys to do is click the link above our heads, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or follow us on TikTok so we can help us grow. And we'll continue to come back here and kick nuggets for you guys.
I got a question for you, Tony.
Yes, sir.
If you're an investor trying to look into an area, what's the best of or what's the word I want? How do you research the rents in the area so that way you know what kind of potential it has, so that way you can counteract that with your payment towards your mortgage if you buy a multi-unit?
Great question. I'm going to yield that mic to you because I know you know the answer and you want me to say it. But let's go to you first. I'm going to yield to you. What are some of the ways that I can figure out what type of rent that you can get? There's a couple of ways to do it, but I want to yield to Ian, right? Because, there's a certain way that you got to do it. And then put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to go there. And this is going to be the last part that we're going to do for the show today. Shout out to everybody who pulled up today. Today, we went over corporate structure set up. Okay, with the limited liability company, we went over our trust. Okay, we went over We went over buying a multi-unit with the FHA, and we're going to close out with buying or partnering with a veteran utilizing the VA home loan benefit. That's what we're going to close out with. I'm Anthony Glenn, buy and hold investor, 7 vertically integrated real estate companies. And I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I made a lot of mistakes. So we're here to teach you guys what we have learned, so you guys don't make the same mistakes as us. If you guys are liking this, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sitrep YouTube channel. It's above my head. We're setting up our studio stuff, and then we will be doing these rooms on a regular basis. And then also we'll be giving nuggets that you guys could do in order to win. But Ian, I yield to you. How would you structure that scenario? And for those of you that are on YouTube and you cannot hear Ian talking, okay, click the TikTok link, and then you will hear him through my speakers. We had a little technical difficulties, but if you click TikTok, you can hear Ian coming through the speakers. You'll be able to hear him. So click the link click the TikTok link, and you'll be able to hear through YouTube and everywhere else. But go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, kick it.
Okay, so the point I'm getting at with making sure that you have good rental potential research, it's a really really important thing. We hashed out a problem like this right on stage a little while ago, where we had a person that came on stage that purchased a property thinking that they will have a much more lucrative Airbnb business than they anticipated. So what happened is all of a sudden they paid top dollar for a property, and the income for the Airbnb didn't come in. So therefore they weren't of above average capabilities or anything like that. So they were stuck with 2 mortgages that they couldn't afford.
Mm-hmm.
So the big picture of this is you got to really make sure you're doing your research on what's most important of this system is the cash flow. Because if the cash flow isn't giving you the amount of capital you keep that thing afloat, it's not the best investment for you. So when it comes to wrap it all around with this big picture we've been talking about buying multi as a end user, like you're going to live in one unit and rent out the others.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make sure that whatever you have coming in, or whatever you have like max potential for, you have a buffer built in there. So that way you don't price your operating income at the max market value, and then you have to take it because you have a couple vacant months here and there your first year.
That's a big one, guys. Okay, so basically what he said, for those of you who did not hear, when you guys are setting up your, when you're doing your, you better know, okay, here's a couple of ways that you guys can figure out, okay, how to figure out the rent piece. Number one, get the property, put it in rental meter, and it'll tell you an algorithm that'll teach you how to do it. I like to do it manually. So what I'll do is put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to know how I figure out how a quick mathematical formula that I utilize to figure out how much I can rent a property for. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to know that, because I'll run through that real quick. All right. Okay, let me see if I can get some ones. Okay. All right. Miss Carter, I see you. Terrence, I see you. Ian, I see you. Okay. Let me see on YouTube if I got some ones. Okay. All right. I got Cambridge. That's the last thing I got on YouTube. Okay. All right. So here's a couple of things that I like to do. Can I have the paper? All right. So step 1 is I need to know the bedroom count. Bedrooms. So everybody put bedrooms. Okay. Okay. Bedroom count. Number 2, I need to know bathroom count. Okay. So bedroom count number 1, bathroom count number 2. Number 3, I need to know lot size. Okay. Number 4, I'm going to need zip code. Okay. Okay. And then number 5, I'm going to need upgrades. Okay. Now, bedroom count, bathroom count, lot size, zip code, and upgrades. Now, here's why I need those 5 things. The bedroom is going to tell me, and I need one more thing, square footage of the property. I almost forgot one. That's one of the most important things. Okay, so now I need bedroom count, bathroom count, lot size, zip code, upgrades, and square footage. That's all I need. Now, let me tell you why I need these things. The bedroom count is going to tell me how many bedrooms did I have. The bathroom counts, I'm going to compare the bedroom and bathroom counts with properties that have just recently rented Okay. Bedroom, bathroom count of other properties. Now, the zip code is going to give me a hyper local area of what I'm going to need. So I'm not going to compare a property in San Diego with Calabasas. Okay. I want to get a hyper local area to the zip code, and I can do all of this stuff without even stepping foot into the property. Okay. Now that I know my square footage, I want y'all to put the number 3 in the chat. Put the number 3 in the chat. I'm gonna walk you guys through a formula, and it's gonna be a quick little formula that you guys could utilize. That you're gonna be able to check out something and how this is how I do it. All right. So I'm gonna find 3 comparable properties that are similar to the one that I saw. That's the reason why I said upgrades. I'm gonna go within a, in a super hyper, no more than 20 miles outside of the area. That way I can get hyper local to the area, right? And within that same zip code, because that's going to give me comparable rental analysis. So right now, let me give you an example. Okay, Ian, can you be my calculator, please? And I'm gonna give you guys this
Gotcha.
example. Let's just say that the property rent, one of the comparable sales I saw was 2,300. I can rent for 2,300. Then I saw another one for 2,400. Then I saw another one for 2,560. Okay, so Ian, 2,300, 2,400, and 2,550. 2,550. Sorry. Okay, you got those numbers?
Sorry, 7250. Talking with the mic off.
Okay, 7,250. Now what do I need to do, Ian? Divide by 3. I'm going to add those 3 rental incomes up. I'm going to divide by 3. Okay, the first one's going to give me a base. The second one's going to give me a quantity. Then the third one's going to give me an average. So
2,412.
what is it?
2,412. Or excuse me, 2,416.
So 2,400 is going to be my average rent. I always want to go down. I never want to go up. So now I have it built in what I can rent that property for. Once I figure out what I can rent that property for, I can know the cost per bedroom count and square footage of the property. Now, Ian, if I bought that property and that property is, let's just say that property is, let's say 2,500 square feet. What would be my cost per square foot? What is that formula that I need to figure out? How do I do that math?
You take the cost of the property, or it's you're talking about the value per square foot or the cost per square foot?
The value per square foot. Just give me the math.
Okay. Yeah. So if it's $2,400, so you do $2,400 divided by $2,500 equals $0.96 per square foot that property generates.
There you go. Simple math. Once I know that number, I can back into my numbers. So that means if I found a property at 2,500 square feet, okay, I could kind of figure out mathematically if I'm going to get that property and see if it makes sense by knowing what the property could rent for. That's the number one thing, because then you already know what you can finance the property for. Then you got to see how much it's going to cost for you to fix the property up if you need to. So you know all of the math that you need. What is my acquisition cost? Number one, what revenue can it generate? Okay. And then the next one's going to be what's the cost per square foot? And then the next one's going to be, okay, what is going to be my finance amount? Okay. And all of if you know that, you're 90% of getting that deal done. Okay. So put a 1 in the chat if that was easy to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining the Real Estate Mastermind. Does anybody have any other questions before we close out the room? Better ask your questions.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
So, I've heard Ian, both of you, teach about functional obsolescence when you're talking about the number of bathrooms, for example, and bedrooms and properties that you're considering.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any, have there been circumstances where you came to the conclusion that um, the plumbing was such that adding a bathroom would have been simple enough to bring it to make it work? Or would you just walk away if it was that obsolete?
That's a good question. I have added bathrooms to properties before, and I would rather buy a property with the bathrooms that I need than build one in. So a lot of the older properties usually have one bathroom or one and a half bathrooms. But think about it. If there's space for it, then yeah, you can add bathrooms and stuff. But it costs a lot of money to add. Um, you got permitting and everything else with that property. So I would rather have the bathrooms already in there versus I would rather add a bedroom than I would a bathroom because of plumbing. Because a bedroom is just drywall, electrical, right? And foundation if you have the space for it. You have to do all of that stuff plus plumbing. And then when you start messing around with plumbing, it starts to get expensive. So I don't buy properties that have one bathroom. Because think about it, you add an extra bedroom on that property, you can draw more rent, but then you got one bathroom. And I don't buy one car garage properties either. My favorite property style is 3-2 or better. Okay. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. Now, the reason why I don't like twos, like 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, is because of this. If I am a family and it's Anthony Glenn, and then I get married. Okay. I have one room. We have a kid. I can't have any visitors. I don't have space for it. So 3-2 is my magic formula or better. Okay. And then I really like the multi-unit space because multi-unit, you got a 4 unit, you increase the rent $100. $100 times 4 is what? $400. $400 times 12 is what? Ian?
400 times 12, that's $3,600.
So that's $3,600 that I can make in revenue just by raising the rent $100 with a multi-unit. So I just increased the value. And then also the reason why I also like multi-units is because in the event that somebody moves out, I still have revenue coming in from the other 3 units. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
these are some of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, like why multi-units over single family homes. I like both, but just like the property that I walked through the other day, it's a single family home. I had a lapse in time where people weren't in there. Luckily, I didn't have any fixed expenses, so I had people out of that property for 2 months, but still, that's 2 months of 3850 that I missed because I didn't draw any revenue in the property. If you have a multi-unit and you got 4 units and you have to evict one, you still have revenue coming in from the other 3. So that's the reason why the potential increase of the value in multi-units is much better than the potential increase in value of single-family homes. And never, ever, 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 ever underwrite a property off short-term rentals. You always want to underwrite a property or do your acquisition of a property utilizing the basic single-family home rental income because in a moment's notice, the Airbnb could lapse. So I never buy a property utilizing potential income of short-term rentals. Always underwrite using long-term rentals. Did I answer your question? Answer any questions?
You answered mine and then you added some, so thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the time frame after you purchase a property to do the quick claim deed to put it in a trust?
Immediately.
Or immediately you could
Immediately.
do it? Oh yeah?
Immediately. You get the property, you closed, transfer the title to the trust immediately. You can also have the trust set up before and then transfer it, but some people set up trusts and they spend all of that money. But to quick claim deed it over to the ownership is easy. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that does. Thanks.
Outstanding, guys. I'm gonna put a number in the chat. Text WIN to 760-385-8211. We do have an event this Saturday. If you guys want more information on that, we will send you the link. It is the Veteran Wealth Formula. If you guys are looking to partner with us, if you're a realtor and you're looking to increase your volume, if you're a veteran, if you're a non-veteran, you want to partner with us, you want to come to that event this Saturday. And then also, if you guys want to get on a free consultation call with us, free, okay, in investing in real estate, Text WIN to 760-385-8211. Phenomenal quick room. Thank you guys for pulling up. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Thursday, we'll see you guys again. And then also we'll have all of our social media stuff running for those of you who have joined us on YouTube. Okay. Click the link above my head. Make sure you give me a follow on TikTok because we'll be teaching information on there and going live as well. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you guys soon.